On Monday, June 19th, 2023, which was about 2 years ago, I solo traveled to Turin, northern Italy from Edinburgh, Scotland. I booked the flight because the flight tickets were so cheap and I realized that I did have saved some places that were close to Turin on Google Maps. So I thought I would go. Found the shuttle bus at the airport around 8:30 in the evening, heading to the city center. Turin seemed to be a quiet city. I felt like the traffic was not very busy. 9 p.m., I arrived at the Turin train station and was about to take a bus to the hostel. I then hopped off and walked for about 4 minutes. Here's the hostel. Kind of modern. I was assigned to the lower bunk and I was happy with the shades. Not as satisfying as the curtain, but they were better than I expected. Their toilet is the cutest. See the lines between wall tiles, all in mustard yellow. Unbelievably adorable. The tap knob was huge and cute, user-friendly. It was actually already 5 to 10 p.m. It took more time than I thought to be ready to go out. But wouldn't it be unacceptable if I didn't have any Italian food on the first day of the trip to Italy? So here I was, a restaurant that was still open. It was 10 p.m. I was probably the only customer in the indoor seating area, and there was a table for two sitting outside. I could never tell if the bread requires extra charge or not, or if the olive oil I grab has a price every time I have it. Hopefully I don't go broke. And here came the proof of me being in Italy. Carbonara. It was creamy and thick. I feel like for thick sauce pasta, I usually can only enjoy it within the first half of eating. I do love thick sauce pasta with all my heart. And everybody agrees that a tiramisu was a must. I don't remember the taste, but I believe I liked it very much. At 10:40 p.m., I needed to walk back to the hostel. The night was peaceful and scary at the same time. I went to the shared kitchen to probably refill my water bottle, and there was a party event on the ground floor, or just a night bar, I'm not sure. Midnight was approaching and it's time to sleep. Oh my god, I just realized that I took away some of the pasta from last night when I saw these clips 2 years later. I totally forgot how things went. Isn't it a bit sad and scary that we're unconsciously losing memories no matter if we want to keep them? And yes, the takeaway was my breakfast at 7:30 in the morning. I was on the hunt for gelato. I visited Rome in 2022 and all the gelatos I had was the best part of the trip. Therefore, I was super looking forward to the gelatos I was about to have. I believe these fountains are for drinking water. I adore how this sink was crafted. I was walking towards the city center and saw this massive open hall, the best kind of architecture for Four Seasons. Fabric poster hung up in an alley. Another spacious open hall. 8 in the morning, I was here at the gelato shop. It was too early, so this shop might be the only option available. I was leaving Turin soon for the mountain area, so I didn't have much time to spend. A tiny glass of probably sparkling water served as well, very decent. Unfortunately, this one was way too sweet for me. My expectation was too high. Turin should be quite safe since another customer left his bag unmonitored like that. I was shocked. 8:30 a.m., I went back to the hostel room to pack and get ready, and I came to the shower room just to film how cute it was. I really love the cute color and neat design. A market near the bus station. I was heading to the train station because I was going north to Cormier, the mountain area, staying there for 2 nights and then came back to Turin. The train station is huge, but it was extremely quiet. I never really understand. It was 9 in the morning on a Tuesday in June 2023. I panicked because the screen for the timetable was completely broken. I thought I was done, but then realized that the big screen in the middle was working. See how spacious the station was. Every screen was so far away from each other that I didn't notice the working one until I walked towards it for a while. Got a small cappuccino and I loved it. Going downstairs to the platform. And I just discovered this incredible train. Out of curiosity, I checked LECCE, the destination, and it turned out to be the area located on the heel part of the boot. According to the map, the journey would last for 9 hours and 40 minutes. Wow, so cool. I boarded the train successfully and I stayed in the mountain area for about 46 hours, and on Thursday, June 22nd, I traveled back to Turin. First thing first, I bought the 48-hour transportation pass because I was gonna stay in Turin for another 30 hours. 3 in the afternoon, I checked in the same hostel. Another room, another bed. Happy with the upper bunk. I think I was absolutely starving and I went to a pasta place in a food court and a gelato shop. I saved both of them on my Google Map beforehand, but they happened to be closed. I was trying my very best to find a pasta place, yet realized that almost none of the restaurants were open until 6 p.m. I eventually found this one, and I couldn't describe how frustrated and grateful and confused and excited I was. I felt so tourist because I was the only person there for food. And what happened next was me having the best asparagus and clams Tajarin. Unbelievable. If I was capable for making this exact dish, I'm gonna make it for my family, my friends, and myself every time I have the ingredients. Guys, this is crazy. Delightfully fresh and rich. The clams brought the perfect salty taste to the dish, and the olive oil gave the creamy base. Chopped asparagus was brilliantly crispy and juicy. It was an outstanding pasta dish. Getting a gelato after every meal is of course a must. I found one gelato shop near this mall, an exquisite seating area in the hall of the mall. And I got my gelato, the blueberries and the chocolate. I sat in the square in front of the shop, practicing the art of doing nothing other than enjoying my gelato. Refilled my water bottle. It was such a special experience. We usually don't have this kind of outdoor tap for drinking water in Taiwan. I walked through this place and accidentally found this wall. I was so happy. This might be my favorite building style. So pretty, so pretty. I wanted to visit that tower, but I ended up having no enough time to explore. It was about 6:30 in the evening, so I took the public transport to the riverside. The river view in Bern really impressed me, so I have been always looking forward to riverside area after my trip to Bern. I then took the tram back to where I stayed and was trying to find some food. I saw a specific dish, probably the deep fried seafood mix, that I wanted to try on Google Map, and I went to that place just to get informed that they either no longer did it or it was offered by the last operator of the previous dining business. Found another place, but they were booked by a private event, but the chef who was on his break recommended me to go to this restaurant. It looked so expensive. I was so nervous. When traveling to a foreign country, the most frequently asked question will be how much this costs. A basket of bread. Yeah, take my money. And the lovely dish I ordered, the meat agnolotti. So yummy. This pasta style is originally from this area, but I'm not sure if I knew it back when I was having it. The sauce had the gravy-like richness, and the agnolotti was like a bunch of tiny dumplings with a different kind of ingredients wrappers. It's like a plate of your favorite food that brought you a satisfying dining experience. I just couldn't stop eating it. After dinner, since I was in Italy, it should be time for gelato. Their flavor chart looked like a collection of stamps. I think I got the milk one and the chocolate one. That night, the aircon in our female dorm room was tragically broken. 9:25 in the morning on Friday, June 23rd. Good morning, Turin. A huge window on the roof, so bright. For today, I would spend the whole day in the city sightseeing and then flew back to Edinburgh roughly at 10 p.m. Kept my luggage at the hostel and checked out. It was a sunny day. Saw the deep fried mixed seafood I was craving. But I was again and always on the hunt for gelato. Used the toilet before buying the gelato, and the toilet paper tree was so funny. In a cute way. Probably the chocolate and the raspberry. Was enjoying my trip as much as I could. Stepped into a Muji store just to notice that they did the outlet section. Walking around and saw a pile of sticks. It must be for an event then. A tall building near the square. Beautiful buildings in the city center. Okay, time for lunch. This place operated with a transparent kitchen. I think the chef was the owner and his dad was helping here and there. So exciting. Yay, my spaghetti with clams and mussels. Why was my face so red as if I finished a hike under 33 degrees Celsius? It was so much fun to see the cooking process. Yay, I was very full. Happy. A beautiful driveway with an automatic gate. Trams operated in the city. Was ready for another gelato. My chocolate gelato. Look at this masterpiece. So happy. That was also when I finally noticed that a pretty high percentage of people in Turin was on the phone. A very special trend here. People were all on their phones talking. Kodak trimmer replacement sold at a souvenir shop. Decided to get this one. I've kept a habit of writing myself a postcard wherever I travel. I wanted to use the toilet, so I kind of chose a cafe to get a latte from later, and I asked for using the toilet. The staff gave me the key and instructed me to open a massive gate. I then went to the yard and found the toilet. What a journey! A hot latte served with a small portion of sparkling water if I remember it right. Somebody started smoking at the open hall, the outdoor sitting area, so I moved inside. After writing the postcard, I wanted to refill my water bottle. I really appreciate places with adequate supplies of drinking water. Heading to a gallery. And surprisingly, the gallery was located near the square that I saw a pile of sticks earlier that day. I spent some time exploring the garden. I think it was because of the specific time slot I booked for the gallery and the museum. I didn't have enough knowledge for these artworks and I didn't mind not having any, so I was simply admiring what I found interesting. For example, this massive fire extinguisher. What's up? A door with an unusual angle. Here might be the main room. Seemed to be so heavy. Luxurious. Another massive fire extinguisher. I love it so much. Okay, so I assumed that was the museum and here was the gallery. I noticed their brilliant way for storing their foldable chairs. Neat and space-saving, so clever. Okay, again, it's time for gelato. The chocolate one and probably the milk one. Call me crazy. It was 6 in the evening, by the way. I went back to Hostel to grab my stuff and had my last meal of the trip. Here, you got to choose like Subway and Chipotle, but due to language barriers, I didn't get what I liked. Moreover, I hate deep-fried gelato so much. Walking all the way back to the train station to catch the shuttle bus taking me to the airport. It had been a lovely solo trip. Identifying my mini country on the board. Vacuumed risotto. Shout out to people that made this happen. Was about to board the aircraft at 10:20 p.m. and I arrived in Scotland around midnight.
我上班上厕所没有快这件事。
Hello, I made a video about how annoying the situation was back in those days, and the link should be provided somewhere on this page. Thank you so much for watching my vlog, and I hope we are all going on holiday soon.